Let's take a look around the Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. 3.425 miles, 20 corners, 2 DRS zones, and the longest run straight on the Formula One calendar. It is a joy of a circuit. Exit the last corner then and boot it hard as you come under acceleration and under power as well. Continue on uphill towards turn number 1. 8th gear flat out before a heavy braking zone as well. Drop down, 3rd gear, tight inside line apex on the left hand side. Drop downhill now into the Mickey Mouse section of the track as well. The car meanders left then right again like Maggots and Beckett at Silverstone. Requires a little bit of lifts as well to make sure everything stays the same on the circuit. And continues to push hard as they continue uphill into turn 7 and 8 as well. Keep hard on the power, and now through the tricky bump zone of the track at turn 10. MotoGP riders complain about it, Formula 1 do too, before you into the hairpin then. Like turn 1, all the way down at turn 11, 2nd gear. Rise up the hill now once again down the longest straight in Formula 1. DRS is at a maximum. The ERS is screaming its deployment energy as you hurtle down into the best overtaking spot on the track in towards turn 12. Brake at the 100-meter board, flick the car into the left, and then you're back on the power. 2 rights then as well do make a correct right turn into 15 and 16. Then 3 lefts back to back. You don't notice the first 2. It's the last one you need to notice coming into turn 16. 17 and 18 then, a long sweeping right-hander akin to what we see in Turkey of Formula 1 as well. 19 and 22 left-handers, then easy to flick the car off the track and run out lap time like you do there. That's allowed this year by the stewards, but no cutting elsewhere. Last corner, full throttle once again with the DRS open, and that is a lap of Austin, Texas. Hello everybody, welcome to Sprint Saturday for the 2023 United States Grand Prix here at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. We are all set for what is going to be a very interesting day. Yes, the championship's all wrapped up. Yes, we know exactly who's lining up on pole position for the race tomorrow, but there is so much to look forward to sprinting today. Another qualifying format, Q1, 2 and 3 for the shootouts, as well of qualifying. And then, of course, a 13-lap race coming up later on. Alongside me, Adam Limridge, and alongside me as well is Omi in the comments box. Adam, welcome. All set to go. Drivers getting into the cars. Fingers crossed we're going to be in for a very interesting session.
Yes, Josh, it is going to be a very interesting session. And good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, wherever you may be watching. Yesterday, the qualifying for the main Grand Prix was intense. Max Verstappen is not on pole, and he wants to do good here in the sprint shootout. And folks, I know we're talking about Formula One here, but after the sprint shootout, go and watch the MotoGP Australian Grand Prix. Josh and I were on the call early this morning, and it was one race you do not want to miss. So, and it's a beautiful sunny day in Austin, Texas, and it seems like, Josh, you and I are international travelers going from Austin, Texas to Australia, and now back here to Austin. So we've gotten a lot of flight miles over these yesterday and today.
Back and forth, back and forth. And as soon as we're done with the F1 sprint, we're off. I'm off at least to do the Moto 3 Grand Prix as well. Then the Moto 2 race, and then, weather permitting, we'll do the Tissot sprint as well. Omi, welcome to you. Nice to have you up in the box, not in the pit lane. Looking forward to a great one as well. Ferrari on pole for the main race tomorrow with Charles Leclerc alongside Lando Norris, but Max Verstappen, all smiles there. Is he going to be all smiles by the end of today?
Will be very interesting to see if it is all smiles now. I'm hoping it's not, because usually in sprints, no pit stops, not too much to contend with, possibly some different tyres the drivers go on, so it's going to make it interesting. But if he's not on pole for the sprint race, there could be a chance, even if Red Bull had a better race car, there could be a chance that he gets caught up a bit and we get like basically what happened at Qatar. And that's why sprints have also been very exciting this year, where there's been a chance for someone to actually beat Max Verstappen if they are able to get ahead. So hopefully we're going to get a few more cars ahead of Verstappen in a similar position to where we start in the main Grand Prix, and then we have a sprint on our hands as well. But I think the Grand Prix tomorrow is going to be very exciting. From the evidence that we saw in qualifying yesterday, looks really tight. Possibly Hamilton could have gone a bit more quicker with a few less mistakes. Leclerc could have gone quicker, possibly McLaren in the mix, and Red Bull obviously there as well. So definitely going to be really exciting to see who comes out on top, and I'm expecting a similarly close qualifying to what we saw yesterday.
Looking good, and Jess and Josh are in the pit. Jess, great race in F1 Academy this morning. Now we've got the sprint shootout coming up. What are you expecting? Anything different from what we saw yesterday, or much the same?
Hopefully, like we've seen in the Qatar sprint shootout, we are hopefully going to be expecting something different. Maybe a McLaren pole, because that was good last time, potentially. I'm still thinking that maybe Lando Norris could be up there for the sprint shootout, but they can't really change setups, and we know the Red Bull was struggling, so Max Verstappen needs to get on with his track limits, but I think I can see Max Verstappen maybe redeeming himself after yesterday, so we'll see what happens.
Josh T's with us as well. Josh, looking good for McLaren, but Mercedes were looking strong. We commented yesterday Hamilton was looking fast. You've got about 10 seconds. What do you expect to look forward from a possible Mercedes pole?
Yeah, absolutely. An amazing, really strong from Mercedes. Let's see if they can make it to a pole in the sprint shootout for the United States Grand Prix.
It's gonna be a really interesting session then as they come forward. Really bizarre day ahead with the first ever sprint shootout and sprint race here for the United States Grand Prix. So far this year, we've seen differences of poles, differences of atmosphere. This is a track that always delivers and always gives us an interesting one. Here it comes. It's SQ1. It's time to go sprinting here at the United States Grand Prix. It is the Circuit of the Americas from Austin, Texas, round 18 of the 2023 Formula One World Championship. No chance of rain, no chance of any extraordinary heat, which means we're going to be in for a very interesting race. It's our third or fourth visit to this side this season. Alongside us, we've been to already Miami, now here at COTA. Then we go over to Vegas, of course. Additionally, around the areas of this side of the world, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, all rounding out at the exit as well. As the racing will build up this amazing track, providing with it as well Pirelli's Hardtake C2 hard tyres, C3 medium, C4 red softs as well. The shootout coming up, a 12-minute qualifying. Track temperature at 36 degrees, air temperature 32, humidity at 24%, all looking strong as well. Wind speed 12.6 kilometers per second. Alongside me in the commentary box is Adam and Omi down in the pits. Jess and Josh. Hello to Stephen, who says, I think Charles will be on pole. What do you guys think? Hello. Brad says sprint shootout is the biggest waste of time ever. Charles for the sprint or Oscar? I have a question. Could Oscar win or Lewis? What do you think? So let's start. Charles Leclerc for pole position. Is that a possibility to repeat it again here? I'll go to you, Adam.
Yes, Josh. Yes, Josh. I do think, after what we saw yesterday with the main Grand Prix tomorrow, Charles Leclerc and that Ferrari, they look strong here in Coda. It's a new day. As we all know, anything can happen on any given day. But if Charles Leclerc can do what he did yesterday, he has a good shot to not only win the sprint shootout on being on pole, but he could win the sprint race later on today as well.
Omi, suppose that gives you the question. Oscar Piastri?
Well, definitely, but we have possibly seen so far that Norris does have a bit of the edge, and it was a great lap for Norris, also relying on other drivers not being able to get the best out of the car. So McLaren are going to be in there, but let's see if they're able to take a further step forward, maybe where they can beat Red Bull and Ferrari. They did look just a tiny bit further back, but let's see if they can pull it back. It is possible.
Jess, what do you think coming into this one as well? A lot of pressure on Red Bull to get it right after yesterday. Understeering and oversteering. They couldn't work out what was wrong with the car. Verstappen now, coming into this one, starts third tomorrow. No, starts sixth tomorrow, doesn't he? So he's got a lot to work to sort of recover his race from the sprint.
He has got a lot to work, I think, for tomorrow, especially with, I think, Perez as well not scoring that high in qualifying. But it's a new day as well. They still get points for the main sprint as well. So maybe they found a way to find ways to improve on their time with the current setup they have and see how they can conquer that understeer and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Red Bulls will really need to redeem themselves. But Ted's in the pits, Josh.
As well as is by regulation in this session. I've got to tell you that temperature drop is significant in terms of how it feels just living here down here in the pit lane. The drivers have been out to check the track conditions. All looks good. We've had some racing already, some Spanish success on the track here. And yeah, it just feels like it's a bit cooler for cooler heads, cooler conditions. It's all good. So yeah, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, people like Daniel Ricciardo looking for an improvement. Sergio Perez looking for an improvement from yesterday. Lando Norris looking for exactly the same as yesterday. Oscar Piastri looking for an improvement from yesterday as well. And not least looking for an improvement from yesterday, Max Verstappen. He might be a three-time world champion, but he is not immune to the perils of the track limits.
Do you know what, Ted? I think of all the 10 billion words you've said during the course of this season, Max Verstappen looking for an improvement, that could be a first.
Yeah, I don't think we've heard that a lot really coming through. Now the cars head out. So tyre compounds mandatory. SQ1 and SQ2 must take the medium tyres. SQ3 is softs, and they are the mandatory tyres that they must face. So presumably the reason we're not seeing a big melee out on the track, first of all, is because they're all now slowing down the fast lane. They've only got one set of tyres really, brand new, that they want to run. They want to take this as a double stint on these mediums. Really bizarre. Adam, Omi, what do you think as well with these tyres? Because we'd seen this stopping in the fast lane back from Singapore. It's really dangerous and really silly.
Yeah, and it's the issue. It's created now with Verstappen doing it, not getting a penalty. Everyone else follows through as well. But yeah, we have seen so far this season also the sprint shootouts have been very exciting. I think this time it's going to be pretty much similar as well with the medium tyres, all of them warming up, and the sprint shootout goes by very quickly, obviously due to the less time they all have, so just constant runs and constant laps. So the sprint shootout is also enjoyable, but I'm still with going back to one-shot qualifying for the sprint shootout.
I much prefer that as well, Adam. We would both remember 2003, 4 and 5 when we had that one-shot format, because look, they're stopping in the fast lane, and how long until this gets ridiculous? Because like, there's a red flag out there. We've got cars actually stopped in the pit lane.
Yeah, and thinking back to the sprint shootout, one of the ones that stand out to me is the one that we had in England. At the
that was
British Grand Prix.
Didn't hear anything you said. Okay, so it's Hulkenberg is 6 seconds behind.
I think that's Hamilton.
fired. 6 cars now leaving the pits.
Yeah, so that's Hamilton now starting a push lap, and he's got cars ahead of him on the fast run. So Hamilton's going for his push early on. Everyone's out there on brand new mediums. No one going out there on a set they used in practice yesterday. It was mainly soft tyres that got used in Q1 and Q2 in the main session. Russell's apparently got no stint data. Now he's got mediums out there, so all of that get a little bit out there. Have to start Q3, remember, on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. They've all had to held one. First sector time for Hamilton then, 25.877. As a little bit of understeer coming into turn 11. Corrects that, pushes down the hill. Had a car in front of him of Alonso. And the car oscillating massively. You can see the bumps from underneath the car jostling the steering wheel. Under braking into turn 12. Slams it down, turns it in.
Similar to what we discussed before. So it's around crosswind on the back straight, and the intensity is varying quite a bit.
The wind's about the same as what we saw yesterday then. That's not too bad. And it fits with what we see as well with track temperature, so I wouldn't disagree with it personally going forward. So fingers crossed we'll keep it like that. Hamilton's been beaten by Hülkenberg in that middle sector with a 38.7. Third sec's looking good, a little bit wide coming out of 19. And Hamilton's got a little bit of traffic from Lance Stroll, but a little bit understeer again.
Ideally for us, you take more gap early and push a bit more in the faster corners, end of the lap. Your delta's good.
So the opening gambit is a 136.402 as we hear from Lance Stroll. Here's Lando Norris, Hülkenberg at 137.051. Hamilton is 6.5 tenths faster than Hülkenberg. Magnussen goes third on a 130.326. Norris's 2 sectors look good. Sainz is fastest sector 1. So I can't remember who said about Sainz having pole position earlier on, but you're bang on the money. As Norris flies through 16-17, Adam.
That would have been me.
Well done, Josh T. Yeah, this is looking good, Adam, for Lando. Could he get his first win? Piastri took it last time out in Qatar, not unheard of.
Yeah, Josh. Lando Norris starts on the outside front row for the main race tomorrow, and he's been looking strong in McLaren the last few races. So I could see Lando Norris, getting the win in the sprint race later on today. I will say, next year in the championship, I could see Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris capturing multiple wins in that McLaren and taking the fight to Red Bull. Red Bull, I don't think next year it's going to have an easy time, because I think Mercedes is going to be up there, Ferrari's going to be up there, and even McLaren. So, folks, the 2024 FIA Formula One World Championship next year, I think it's going to be very, very close and very tight.
Verstappen's up in that first sector by 2.5 tenths of a second. It's Ferrari 1-2. Leclerc ahead of Sainz. As Adam said, Ferrari are right up there. 136.302 for Leclerc. Sainz at 136.322. And Verstappen, a little bit of traffic coming in to turn 11. He's got Albon and Zhou were just behind him. Now he's going to catch up to Lando Norris on the run down towards turn 12. Hülkenberg into the pit lane then. He's had enough of that. I think Magnussen and Ocon are going to come in too for a quick change of tyres. 5 minutes to go in the session.
Negative when you can.
That's Verstappen.
Yeah, to the back. Relax. It's got to catch up.
Hülkenberg being told to keep that delta negative, so to keep inside the maximum time that you're allowed. Don't go over it. 5 minutes to go. Fastest first and second sector then, as it's Gasly who's gone 6th fastest with the fastest third sector, 31 on the board, but it's Max Verstappen, 25.742 first sector, 38.648 second sector as he comes out of the last corner. Russell's gone third. The top 4 separated by 7 thousandths of a second. Look at that, the top 5 separated by a tenth of a second until Verstappen dominates across the line to do a 135.997, goes 3 tenths faster than Leclerc, but the gap between Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Ocon and Hamilton, and now Perez, is all less than a tenth of a second. That's an incredibly close gap. Omi to close in again. They are still right on the limit.
Yep, right on the limit indeed. Perez losing some time to the last sector because he was up by a tenth on Charles Leclerc's time, but he is behind the 2 Ferraris and also George Russell as well. Perez looking for a good result in this sprint shootout. But yeah, definitely looking really close if we do ignore Verstappen. But let's see with the track improving, is anyone able to find any improvements? Oscar Piastri pushing on right now as well. He was in a similar position yesterday. He was facing the exit, but was able to get through.
Sure, I can hear you on the lap. Don't know what's going on, but I can hear all the engineers.
So Russell's having problems to keep through it again. So Russell's...
Sure, I can hear you on the lap.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on, but I can hear all the engineers.
Yeah, Russell's hearing all the engineers behind him, so it's a constant stream. Verstappen 0.3 faster than Leclerc and Sainz. Russell 4th, Perez 5th. Piastri going to hold it together. He just had traffic there coming through with, I think, Yuki Tsunoda. Now, Piastri's 20th at the moment, our winner of the sprint race last time out in Qatar. Can he do anything here? Now he's through to 11th at the moment with a 1:36.827. 3 minutes to go.
Putting the rear tyres down, putting the rear tyres down. Try not to lose too much front tyre temp.
Stroll's been told to bring the rear tyre temperatures down, but keeping the fronts up. Norris improving on Delta time as he stabilises in 8th position, gets out of the way. Zach Brown watching on, the CEO of the McLaren Racing Team. So it's Verstappen, 3/10 to Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Perez, Ocon, Hamilton. Literally the gap between 2 to 7 is about 1/10 of a second. Wow. And Russell's slow across the line there, so he's backed out of it. The camel, the cars are great. Yeah, they are. They're really good. As Alonso now in a bit of a block.
Just quickly, you might want to scroll up one channel and go back down as you're 3 seconds behind me on TV pixels.
Okay, we will get that sorted. As they come through.
Oh yeah, looking good so far for Verstappen. Smile so far, but we'll see if it continues through in SQ2 and SQ3 as well. And was able, he would have had pole, but it was track limit right at the penultimate corner of the circuit, turnover 19, that cost him over the white lines for him. And that was his lap time gone right there, was 5,000 quicker than Leclerc, and that's when I went a bit upset, but when I saw it pop up, I was happy once again. But the final few runs
Russell.
are about to begin. Once again, Russell.
Russell's all good now, he's saying on the radio. So Russell is all good now, coming through. Verstappen then coming through. Go on, Justin.
With Charles Leclerc, Jess noted out in a let us know in comms chat that Charles Leclerc, Ferrari are wanting to replace a part, but they can't because it's under Parc Fermé. So there's a lot of conversation between Ferrari mechanics and Joe Bauer just 15 minutes before the start of the sprint shootout.
So is it possible for them to do that?
Can I ever
We'll
go
have to see.
Bloody hell.
Sorry, Amy, you're going to have to cope with some more Ferrari shenanigans.
Leclerc's got the fastest middle sector though. Verstappen's not going to go out again. He's happy with that time, but Leclerc's a 38.5 middle sector. So Omi, Leclerc and Sainz not doing too well at Ferrari then, it seems.
Well, yeah, there is a lot of chaos, but the track improvement is really crazy as well. So definitely going to be interesting to see how much improvements we get. Leclerc comes over the line to improve his lap time as well and goes 2,000 times.
I know, man, I know. Yeah, you need to do it between the safety car lines. You need to do it between the safety car lines.
That's Stroll.
Got some time now, but you need to do it between the safety car lines, okay?
Stroll's not happy over the radio. He's fighting with his engineer. He might get a punch after the session. Sainz goes third. Now Stroll's 19th. Is it yet another elimination? Stroll actually goes through on a Q1. First time in over 5 races plus a sprint that he has not made it through. Does Alonso go through? He's 16th. He goes 6th. Now Tsunoda's in trouble. He's 15th at the moment with a cut-off. Hulkenberg in the elimination zone as well. Alexander Albon goes third, and Charles Leclerc is 2 thousandths off the pace of Verstappen. Great lap time there. Out goes Sonoda. Hulkenberg's gone 14th. Magnussen goes 16th. Magnussen is out as well. He fails to get through. Piastri's 15th at the moment. Gasly goes into 13th position. Bottas, Ricciardo, Sargent have been in trouble now as well as they come across the line. Piastri only goes 14th. Now watch for Bottas, Sonoda, and Sonoda's not going to do anything. Cross the line. Bottas coming as well as Sargent. Bottas only goes 17th. He's out. I don't think Ricciardo or Sargent going to do anything. Here comes Sargent across the line. No, he only goes 19th. Danny Ricciardo, can he break through out of the running order? Answer, yes! Yes! 15th! Out goes Hulkenberg and Magnussen. Both of the Haas drivers are out. And Danny Ricciardo goes through into Shootout 2. Fantastic!
12 thousandths.
Wow! You can't ask better than that, Adam. That was brilliant.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Josh. Danny Rick is, he loves this track.
Sonoda's furious, absolutely furious. Liam Lawson's watching in, being a bit smug. I would be smug as well. How much is he going to be there? Unbelievable scenes, what we are seeing right now. And this was traffic. Now that is Leclerc being... Leclerc being held up.
And penalty for Mr. Russell. Thank you.
And if
So Russell's held up Leclerc. Yeah, that'll be a penalty. That's why he was 3 thousandths off. Wow.
So even with that, Leclerc was 2 thousandths off. So if Russell wasn't there, he would have been fastest, and it will be investigated after the session.
Yep, thought so.
Good.
And
Oh, well, looks
penalty
like
for Mr. Russell. Thank you.
It looks like the Haas Red Bull styled updates haven't done them too good. At least they're both together in qualifying for once.
That is true. That is true. But what a session that's coming through. So, what do you think, Jess, of that session? Is Jess
Well, I was very impressed with Alexander Albon to get the lap that time that he did. Good redemption from him yesterday as well. And I think, yeah, George Russell should definitely get a penalty after that one. I think Leclerc would have been faster in the session without that as well. Shame about the Hasses, unfortunately, but Ricciardo got in by the skin of his teeth. Brilliant showing from him. I was looking at Omi's camera and you see his face lit up when Ricciardo came across the line in 15th.
Yeah, I do get a bit happy.
What do you reckon of it, Adam?
Well, first of all, before I talk about SQ1, I have to give a special shout out, to Charles Leclerc because he has if you've noticed this weekend, he has a really cool helmet. It says touchdown Austin. So, talking about the American football that I know very well here in the States. So I think that's pretty cool. And Charles Leclerc is on the pace we saw yesterday. Could he be on pole for the sprint shootout? Or excuse me, for the sprint race later on? He sure could. He sure could.
So let's go through who was out of that session then. In qualifying number 1, it is out and sayonara for Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Bottas, Sonoda and Sargent. Going through to the next session, Verstappen tops it by 2 thousandths of a second to Leclerc. Albon is third.
I have to check my front wing. Yeah. Another driver's blocked me and we touched.
Okay, we'll check that.
An AlphaTauri that was.
Right. Albon third, Sainz fourth, Russell fifth, Perez sixth, Alonso 7th, Ocon 8th, Hamilton 9th, Norris rounds of the top 10, Zhou, Stroll, Gasly, Piastri, Ricciardo. Let's cross over to Sky.
Welcome back to Austin. Drivers getting very close out on the track.
Yeah, Hamilton's hit. I think that's Sonoda.
I have to check my front wing. Yeah. Another driver's blocked me and we touched.
Okay, we'll check that.
That driver is Yuki Tsunoda, who we heard getting very het up at the end of that session. This is on board with Yuki Tsunoda, who finds himself out in the first part of qualifying. Max Verstappen was the quickest, just 2 milliseconds between himself and Charles Leclerc. Christian Horner on the Red Bull pit wall. Could be a tight one, this one, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's almost certainly going to be, and you know, Charles looking quick again. Alex has done a very good job there as well, so Max only using one set of tyres or one lap for that session, so let's see what happens in the second part of this shootout.
Christian, clear this one up for us if you can. The stewards are looking at a number of drivers, including Sergio Perez, for going too slowly on a cool-down lap. Is that because they've been letting cars past, or is that because you need to go that slow because of the temperatures on the track?
Yeah, and it's all getting confused as you see them not coming out the pit lanes and going onto the track, because they're all waiting for gaps. And of course, because they've got this delta, it creates issues when they're on track, so they end up sort of tripping over each other, as you saw Yuki and Checo doing on that build lap. So and of course they can't back off because then they screw the delta. So it needs a bit of work, it needs a bit of looking at, because at the moment it's causing a little bit of chaos out there.
So Max saved a set of tyres there against the rest of the field, Christian, yeah?
He's put less laps. I mean, Leclerc's used one set, but he's obviously taken more out of it. So yeah, he's still got plenty of tyres. He's got 3 more new sets of mediums left, so he's in good shape tyre-wise at the moment.
Christian, thanks. We'll be back with you at the end, or just before.
Q2 is underway then for this session. Everybody heading out there once again on medium compound tyres. Adam, who do you think is going to be the big surprise in this session?
Perez.
Oh, good idea. What about you, Emmy?
I am gonna go for Gasly.
Wow. Incident involving Russell, Albon, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Gasly, Piastri, Bottas, Tsunoda, Perez will be investigated for failing to follow the maximum delta lap. So they've all gone too slow on the laps.
I just think I'm just ignoring most of them because I don't think they usually get penalties for it, do they? We haven't really seen anything.
So SQ2 is underway then in this session. As you can see them all coming through.
Where did Alec find all the time?
Jess, what do you think is going to happen in this session? What's your take on it? Who do you think is going to be up there? We've got mixed signals up here in the commentary box. I can't hear anyone. Josh T, what about you?
Yeah, I think, and there is Lewis Hamilton with his gloves off in the car, really not ready to go out yet with only 8 minutes left. And of course, quite a quick session, the sprint shootouts, shorter than of course the normal qualifying format. But I think we're going to see 2 shock exits in SQ2, them being Alex Albon and Sergio Perez.
Okay, I was going to go with Sainz and one of the McLarens personally, so I think Piastri might not make it through.
Leave my McLarens alone, Josh.
Yeah, sorry. Verstappen again, pushing hard on his lap times. I'm struggling to hear anybody over my earphones at the moment, so that's why. As Verstappen comes into turn 10's hairpin, look, it's quite strong. Now, is he going to do a 1 lap and run? He's on a brand new set of medium compound tyres. Albon has gone out there on a used set of mediums, and so has Hamilton, we understand. So they have, and Gasly hasn't left the pit lane. He did 6 laps in Q1. Verstappen, fastest sectors 1 and 2, 25.5 first sector, 38.3 second sector.
Queen's race 8, slightly stronger intensity than previous one.
Looks really strong this session as they come through. And Adam,
did you talk about 10 drivers are under investigation for failure to follow race director's instructions?
We did, yeah. We mentioned it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was BRB, so I didn't know if you mentioned it or not. Cool.
Here's Verstappen across the line then. First time in this second shootout. It's a 1:35.181. He goes fastest. Leclerc in the second sector, not going too quick, but there was only 3 thousandths between them in that last sector. So there's still time to be found as we look at Leclerc about to come through 16, 17, 18. Everyone from Albon down is still in the pit lane, so only 8 cars out the circuit. Perez is 0.6 of a lap slower than Verstappen, 0.537, as Leclerc comes out the last corner, boots it hard, and goes with a 1:35.386, 2/10 slower than Verstappen's time on those compounds on the opening gambits. Here comes Sainz, he goes third fastest now, 1:35.542. Adam, it's Perez who might just face that unlikely elimination. He's very slow on that lap.
Yeah, Josh, kind of surprising, yeah. Kind of surprising from Checo. He hasn't really, you know, when it comes to SQ2 and SQ3, that's where we usually find him. He does get eliminated most of the time after SQ1, so I think, like I said, Checo will be eliminated here in SQ2.
Here comes Norris at the last corner then. He'll boot it across the line. Norris's gambit goes fourth, 1:35.594. So everyone going slow on this opening run, Omi, with 5 minutes to go.
Yep, just taking it nice and easy. Quite a lot of the field also just waiting out there as well, and they're going to start heading out. As we saw, obviously, Hamilton with not even gloves on.
Use the tools to focus on the rear locking and the rear tyres. So think about the back brake balance for 11, white button if you need, and the diff mid.
So Max still gone top, Charles second. As they continue to push through. There's Fernando Alonso. No time set at the moment. And hand up at Williams. Just taking it easy. As Albon will continue to have a go back through. 10th fastest.
The tyres are done.
Oh,
let's do our best. Let's bring them down. Let's cool the tyres. Think about your switches.
Alonso, a bit of an unsafe release there to Ocon in the pit lane. So, and turn 19 involving Hamilton and Tsunoda reviewed, no further action. So they've both got away with that one. Now we've got Ocon, and this is not what's allowed. Ocon's going dangerously slow at the exit of the pit lane. You've got a maximum delta time that you've got to get round, and on this lap, it goes from that line there, safety car line 1. So now Esteban's got to have to push.
Wait, has he got a puncher?
No, it's just going. They're all going really slow because of the maximum delta time. You're not allowed to stop on the track. There's Stoffel Van Dorn. Watching on, former F1 driver and Formula E world champion. And here's Russell, and they're all going super slow now. Serving these maximum delta laps. At this track, it's a 1:50. And they're just coasting around out there, waiting to push on their laps. Don't like it. Not great. Mick Schumacher's enjoying it. Super weird. So Hamilton's going out now, apparently. Go on, Amy.
Yep, they're all really heading out for the drivers who did not go. Russell's one of them, and he's beginning his lap. A few cars heading out, so possibly a bit of traffic as Lando Norris gets out of the way, down as he makes his way through turn 1, does with Russell.
Bit of a snap of oversteer as well, just corrects it nicely. He's out there on tyres.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Norris says he's happy.
Okay, understood. For the moment, just assume it's double cool, please.
Norris says he's happy, just assume it's a double cool. He's going to get bitten away here. Piastri gets out of the way for George Russell. Leclerc's going to be right in his way, so... Well, it was Russell who blocked Leclerc at the end of the last session. Now Leclerc's going to block Russell in Q2 as he comes out. Or Shootout 2. Final 2 minutes of SQ2 for the sprint race here at Austin, Texas. Down towards turn 12 comes George Russell. Speed trap, 196 miles an hour, Adam. And Russell trying to find it, but I don't think he's got the grip. He's half a second away from Verstappen.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
don't think George Russell...
Sorry, that's Max.
Oh.
Max is on a spin. Max has had a spin. Look at the dirtiness of the tyres. Max has had a moment coming through turn 8, and it's destroyed. He's still on a 4-lap old set of mediums. He won't get another run in, so Max has had a spin. As Russell goes over the track limits as well, that's his lap time gone, and he won't get another. He'll have to do a double push lap. So it's all changing now. Russell might not go through. 1:35.847, but that won't count.
Yeah, that's the risk these drivers put in with going out late and just having one time. But this is what happened to Verstappen. Is it going to be something like we saw with Oscar Piastri? Let's see.
Oh, exit curve turn 8. Lost it round.
Well, there's the first, I guess, spin. Proper spin we've seen as well.
Yeah.
From Max.
That's the first mistake I've seen from Max all season. Just loops it round with a 360 there, Adam. Just gets on the bump of the exit curb. Saw it with Piastri yesterday, but it's rare to see a Max error.
Yeah. When was the last time I said Max Verstappen had a... When was the last time we saw Max Verstappen had a spin? That's words we haven't used all... It seems like all year.
So, Max having a spin. He's back in the pit lane. He's done for. Here comes Esteban Ocon. Just under the white lines. Checkered flag is coming out, so the session will conclude now. Who's going to have it? Ocon just gets across the line for the flag. A 1:36.137. The top 10 separated by exactly a second. Hamilton goes through and pushes out Stroll. Hamilton's only 8th though, 7 tenths off the pace. Gasly's 14th. Can he find something still on the time?
Still not clear to me what I'm supposed
No,
to do.
Gasly's struggling.
I'm close to the delta, but I have traffic of people slowing down.
Gasly goes 7th.
Hamilton could be at risk.
Yeah, they really are risk, because here comes Albon.
Delta.
Albon's coming through as we hear from the team there coming into it. Hamilton is only 9th. Albon's going to go through here. Albon goes 10th. Alonso's out. So what about Zhou Guan Yu? 14th. Stays 14th. Danny Ricciardo's going to be next across the line. He's still got some time to find. I think he might just be a little bit off the pace here, Danny Rick. Just a little bit wide into the last corner. Daniel Ricciardo, will he go through into the next segment of qualifying? Will he make Q3? Oh, he's 11th! He just nearly got there by around about 3/100th of a second. Wow! I think Alonso might be out there.
Stroll was in the pits.
Stroll's out of it. Look at that. The top 15 separated by exactly a second. Everyone inside a second in that session. Unbelievable. And Ocon's out too, so both Astons out again. Ocon won't improve. Ricciardo, Alonso, Ocon, Stroll, Zhou out. And this is Stroll down to turn 12. Did he have a lock-up? Long on the brakes. Yes, he did. Oh, double lock-up. Huge. And the car went to anti-stall, Adam. That's weird.
Yeah. Man, that's a huge lockup right there. And now we're into SQ3, and I don't know if Max Verstappen, I think he's gonna win the pole for the sprint race. I mean, I think Charles Leclerc needs to lap like he had yesterday in order to knock him off. I really do.
Thoughts on that session, everyone? Oh, 2 seconds.
Sorry for another P11.
That's Danny Rick saying sorry for another P11. Don't think he has to say sorry at all. It was a mighty good performance there. Thoughts on that session then, please, everyone?
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Indeed, Verstappen does have the advantage currently in this part, but let's see what will happen in SQ3, as also the two Mercedes were very, very close to elimination, but luckily for them, they were able to get through it to keep their hopes alive for a good sprint race.
Jess, what about you?
That was very close for Daniel Ricciardo, to be honest. I'm gutted that he didn't make it through, but some good redemption stories, and maybe Max Verstappen could have a chance to get pole in the sprint shootout. Not much points on offer, of course, but great to see Albon up there because he didn't qualify well last time out in the qualifying. So, yeah, good to see him up there in Q3. Why didn't he have that pace yesterday?
Yeah, I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have just been a little bit off the pace. I think he might have Yeah, exactly. Adam?
All I'll say is Charles Leclerc, he needs to do a lap like he did yesterday to win the pole for the Grand Prix tomorrow in order to knock off Max Verstappen.
So then, who do you think is going to take pole position, everyone? We'll start with Josh T.
I'm going to go with Lewis Hamilton.
Jess?
Lando Norris.
Omi? Sorry, there's a bit of a delay here.
Well, I said Lewis Hamilton earlier, so I'm going to stick with it.
Aston Martin me that. What the man, this Aston Martin. Who was this?
We'll get to it, Joe.
Into turns 415, is he having a laugh? Who
Okay.
was that? Joe.
Yeah, confirm. And we finish P15, Joe.
I don't know how much it looks like now, but I lost 2.5 times because of it.
Copy, Joe. We'll review later.
That's interesting enough. Adam, who's your pick for pole?
Going with the world champion, Mr. Max Verstappen.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing. I think Max could take it. So I think Max will take pole and Leclerc will be second.
Yep.
Just waiting on my ears. Here's the
He
team.
gets. So he's got George Russell at turn 19 on that fastest lap of his, and you can see he stays within the white lines at all times. So that's why that lap wasn't looked at. And actually, on top of that, they've extended this white line since yesterday. So they've made it wider. You can see where it used to be on this line here, as I follow the arrow there. That's the width of the white line where it was yesterday. They look like they've painted on this extra bit today. So I haven't heard the reasons behind that, but it's clearly changed since yesterday. So yeah, but it's the part on the right-hand side, of course, that's really mattering in that circumstance. And yep, George got away with that one. I'm just going to look back, actually, at a bit of an extended footage with Hamilton on that moment with working his way through the field here. First of all, clearing the Red Bull. Then he's behind Tsunoda. And it looks like he's worried about this minimum time they're all trying to keep to. And there goes Leclerc. So that's why he couldn't do anything at that moment. He had to let Leclerc pass and then goes for the gap, but then gets the door almost slammed directly in his face from Yuki. So, yeah, I mean, they haven't looked into this, but it just goes to show, as Christian Horner was saying, what the drivers are, the pressure they're under to stay within that minimum time now. And we can hear from Tsunoda now.
Yuki, what happened out there? Just heard your frustration on the radio. Just, yeah, what was going on?
Well, I didn't take the second. I couldn't do any second push because we finished. Well, the lights. Well, session finished just before I crossed the line. So, yeah, just a minute miss communication, everything, and yeah, just lost the easy opportunity to going through Q2.
Because at the moment, is the car feeling all right around here?
Yeah, it was good. At least easy to go through Q2 at least. So yeah, it's pretty shame. But yeah, we tend to always hard to put it all together in spring qualifying. So yeah, just have to figure out why, because it's always something like this. So.
Green light is on.
Well,
We are underway for the next session here. We're just having a few issues with YouTube. Surprise, surprise. To come into it. So we're going to stay on the battle screen until it all calms down. So the last session then, and it is all calming down now. Man United versus Sheffield, says Stephen, following the football, as Sport United. What's going on there in the football, I think, as well? I think the shootout will be Charles, Max and Norris, says Stephen. I think you're right there, actually. Could be that way.
So this
I
time,
believe
the
that
maximum
match-
delta time, Stroll, Albon, Gasly, Ricciardo, Norris, Russell.
I
Oh,
believe
no.
the Man U match kicks off at 8 PM, if I remember rightly.
So final 7 minutes of the session.
And
Go on.
8 PM Rugby World Cup.
Yep.
England
right,
versus
yeah.
South Africa.
Yes, it does kick off at 8 PM.
Ted's in the pits.
Down to let other people past, and his team Ferrari say no, you need to respect the minimum time. You need to respect the delta. And I'm just wondering, because they've been flexible in the past, based on what Christian Horner was just saying earlier and what that Ferrari engineer is saying, I wonder if they've had a following edict from the race director today or yesterday saying, look, I know I haven't been serious about this or punishing it in the past. I'm going to do it now. Do you want me to go down the drivers who are currently under investigation, or do you want to do it?
Well, to be honest, Ted, it might be quicker to do the ones that are.
Stroll, Albon, Zhou, Piastri, Ricciardo, Norris, Russell. That was in Q2. In Q1, Russell, Albon again, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Gasly, Piastri again, Bottas, Tsunoda and Perez. They're all under investigation. We need to sort this out, really.
Yeah, we do.
Well, the FIA needs to sort it out.
I understand it, and I understand why, because we've seen at races this year cars going way too slow, and then other cars on a lap at the time, and the closing speed being, too much. But what is too much is when we tell our wonderful viewers around the world, these are the guys under investigation, and you all follow the fans, different drivers, and think, well, my driver might be coming up for a penalty here, and then it turns out that nothing actually happens in the end. But we can only tell you what happens as it happens.
That's a rule that's sort of been brought in a bit of a hurry, isn't it, to stop the really scary stuff we were seeing in places where the closing speeds were 150 miles an hour. To stop all of that malarkey. And then they still don't make it, but they go, as I say, with the excuse of, well, look, if I'd have, I would definitely have got in the way. I would have been in somebody's way had I have kept to your delta.
Let's tell people why in a sprint shootout.
Yeah, look, now 5 minutes to go. We've wasted the first 3. They're only going to do 1 lap. That's unbelievable that we're only going to get that. Christian Horner's on the pit wall.
There you go.
Is this because those soft tyres won't do more than 1 lap, so there's no point trying?
Yeah, this is a 1 lap special, and of course they've all got to get that gap, so that's why they're going slow out the pit lane, because of this delta that keeps going to keep the race directors busy.
I mean, how precise is this, Christian, going out? Is that something that's decided long before the shootout? You'll go out then, or is it just gut feeling and who's gone out before you?
You've got to react to what's going on around you, and so we obviously discussed permutations before, but what we don't know is what all the others are doing, and we didn't want to be sat at the end of a queue with everybody waiting for Christmas, basically, before going out the pit lane. So that's why we've gone out early and just check we're going out now.
And any sign of damage underneath Max's car from that spin?
Thankfully not. I mean, it was a high-speed rotation. But Pedals has assured me that everything's looking in good shape.
Thanks ever so much indeed.
So here we go then, the final few minutes of this session. 3 minutes, it's literally going to be 1 run only, as I keep forgetting to update the sessions. How much we don't want to use the sprint qualifying, I keep forgetting to undo it because I'm doing so many different things at once. So, as Omi said, Stroll, Albon, Zhou, Piastri, Ricciardo, Norris, Russell, all investigated after session as well for failure to follow that timings. So, always low on the game. Max is only going to do 1 run. So, it's 1 run, then a safety. Interesting. Don't like that, Omi. Don't, because it's just too slow.
Yeah, very, very slow indeed, wasting a few minutes but here we go, Max Verstappen has made a few mistakes this season. Well, sorry, not this season, this weekend. Unlike the rest of the season, we've not got that words. We've not had those words ready for this weekend, but I guess we've had to use them. And he's made mistakes. But here we go then, Verstappen. Let's see if he can make this lap perfect, or will it be another lap of mistakes for him?
So they're all coming then up towards turn 1. And Max didn't want to look up like he did yesterday, doesn't want to have a spin either at him, and it's going to be pitch perfect at the exit.
Yeah, said Max Verstappen was going to be on the pole for the sprint race. So far, going for the first 2 corners, looks pretty good.
So Max, sorry, radio was coming through there. Max again on the attack, on the push, seeing who's going to have it. His first sector delta time looking a bit stronger. Can't see any improvements coming through, but they will take it. It's a first sector for 25.3. Norris! Lando Norris! Unbelievable sector. Albon's made it through, don't forget to Q3. But Lando Norris has the fastest first sector time. Fantastic! Is Lando going to take pole position? Max has got a bit of traffic. Second sector. It's a 38.160 for Max Verstappen. All eyes to Lando. So Lando could top it. I can't work it out.
Oh, it's tight.
It's really tight. What's sector 2? 38.2. It's getting close. Into the last 2 corners. It's all to do or die. Is Max Verstappen going to take yet another sprint race pole position? He's out of the last corner. Max across the line. It's a 1:34.538. That's the time to beat. He backs off. That's his gambit done. Is Lando Norris anywhere near that time as he comes out the last corner with 50 seconds left? Is he on pole? No! He's a 10th off exactly. 1:34.639. What about Oscar Piastri? 6th to 3rd, 1/3, and fastest 3rd sector, and Charles Leclerc's fastest sector 2. This is unbelievable.
Just seeing Amy's face.
This is unbelievable.
Track limits.
He's kept it in track limits. Is Leclerc going to take it now? Out of the last corner. Can he get anywhere near across the line? Oh, he's half. He's separated them! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Verstappen still on pole! Can Sainz do anything? Little bit wide at the last corners of 19. Verstappen has pole at the moment. Leclerc's second. What about Carlos Sainz? He takes the flag. He's 5th. Dropped to 4/10 in the last sector. Hamilton's still looking good. Here comes Perez. He's 8th. And Perez is 6th, 1:35.041. Hamilton and Russell and Albon's 8th. 2 to go. Hamilton 3rd. 1:34.607. 69 thousandths off of Verstappen. What can Russell do? Last driver not to set a time. Russell across the line, little bit squiggly out of 20. And he goes 8th. 4 drivers separated by a 1/10 of a second. It's Max Verstappen who has sprint race pole for the United States Grand Prix and the F1 sprint later on today. Half a second back, half a 10th back is Leclerc, Hamilton and Norris inside a 10th. Piastri, Sainz, Perez, Russell, Albon, Gasly.
And that's P1 as well, fuel in hand as well, nice shot.
Yeah, not bad, considering the issues, but all good.
Yeah, well done, Max. That's half a 10th ahead of Charles.
Fuel in hand.
What a session. Absolutely mega. Insane.
And that's P1 as well, fuel in hand as well, nice shot.
Yeah, not bad, considering the issues, but all good.
Yeah, well done, Max. That's half a 10th ahead of Charles.
Right, let's get the reactions. Adam, what do you think? Oh, 2 seconds.
Hold it. Good job, lads. This is an improvement. We're slowly getting there.
This is the improvement, slowly getting there. I think he is. Go on, Adam. What do you make of it?
Good job, lads.
Hold it.
This is an improvement. We're slowly getting there.
Really did. Really, really did. Great session. Amazing session to come through. What about you, Amy?
Absolutely incredible. Was hoping Leclerc could get pole, but not too bad because if we do take a look at all my races around the circuit in F1, usually second place has a big chance. Why? Down to turn 1, and we sometimes see a lead change down there, so wouldn't be surprised if Leclerc can out-drag Max Verstappen down to turn number 1, so that's what I'm going to be hoping for. Leclerc is usually good with the start, so let's see if it's something similar that can get him into the lead, and I think we're all going to want that to have a bit of an exciting sprint.
Can't believe what we've just seen. Can't believe what we've witnessed. We'll hear from them in a second. Jess, what about you? What do you make of it?
good redemption for Max Verstappen. It was so close between a lot of drivers. I mean, that was an amazing end to that qualifying session. We thought that
considerably better than
Lando
yesterday,
Norris
but-
was going to get it, but he made that mistake.
Yeah,
but
it was pretty tight.
Yeah,
So thank you.
A good end to that qualifying.
Here's James Hinchcliffe then to tell us more.
In the sprint later, but let's hear from the Hinch now, who's down in Parc
Max,
Fermé.
congrats on pole for the sprint this afternoon. It was so close, though, only less than a tenth between the top three. Was this just nice redemption after what happened to you yesterday?
Yeah, I think the whole day so far, in qualifying, I think we were quite competitive. I think the last lap wasn't particularly great, but still on pole, so that means that, the car was working quite well. And yeah, it's going to be, I think, an exciting afternoon where, you can see a lot of different cars being very close to each other, so you don't really know what's going to happen in the sprint race.
With so little practice, not many teams got a lot of long running, high fuel running, so where do you feel like your car stacks up in race pace?
Yeah, that's right. It's all going to be a bit of a question mark. Overall, I do think that normally in the race we are quite okay, but nevertheless, this track is always quite demanding.
It's a 19-lap race, similar stint length to what we saw 2 weeks ago in Qatar, where the drivers were saying it was qualifying lap after qualifying lap. Is that the case here, or is tire management still going to come into play today?
Time management is always quite key around here. The wear is always quite high because of all the high-speed corners. And then, of course, you're having to deal with the very low speed where you need traction. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's not going to be 19 laps of full throttle, let's say like that.
There you go. It'll be a nice Sunday cruise, hopefully, for Max Verstappen. Congrats.
Oh, that's all she wrote. Yeah, not going to hear from Leclerc Hamilton? Okay. Thought we might there, but it's just from Max Verstappen. Sky F1 have got dead air as well, yeah? Not going to say anything from Simon Lazenby. So, a nice end to this session then. Let's confirm how they'll line up for the sprint race coming up. It is Max Verstappen on pole position with Leclerc alongside him on the front row. Hamilton, Norris, Piastri, Sainz, row 3. Perez, Russell, Albon, Gasly, Ricardo Alonso, Ocon, Stroll, Joe Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Bottas, Tsunoda, and Sargent rounds out in 20th place as well. Back up then with myself, Adam and Omi, and Jess and Josh in the pits. Let's get our final thoughts as well before we all get an hour's break, or 2 hours break actually, for the next one. There's a couple of hours, of course, until the next running order. Adam, your thoughts on that session and your thoughts in the sprint race coming up?
I think Max Verstappen is going to redeem himself after what happened yesterday in qualifying, and he's on pole for the sprint race, and you know how good he is, in the sprint races. So it's going to be interesting who can challenge him for the win. Charles Leclerc has looked strong, Lando Norris as well, but I think the winner of the sprint race is going to be Mr. Max Verstappen.
Omi?
Yep, absolutely incredible sprint shootout. Leaves us with an interesting sprint race coming up. As I said, let's hope a few drivers do manage to get past Verstappen. It leads us with Verstappen then having to do a lot of work to make his way through, and then we can get an exciting sprint race. And sprints have been more exciting than Grand Prix, especially Qatar as well. But yeah, little break before we get F1 Academy, obviously, coming up as well. And as Adam said at the beginning, if you haven't watched the MotoGP race, then go watch it. It would be perfect to fill your time before we get to F1 Academy.
I agree. Go watch it. Josh T, before we go off air, get the link in for the video for everyone to watch as well. To give you time to do that, Josh, we'll ask Jess your thoughts on that session and going into the sprint race.
Well, I think it was a great end to that session. I think we could see, a lot of things happening. Luckily, we don't have to worry about the tyres this weekend, so they're just going to push all at it. I'm so excited for this one. Still got a few more stuff to happen before there's a sprint later on, but it's going to be at 11 o'clock UK time. That's going to be quite an entertaining race, even at 11 o'clock at night.
I'm just looking forward to the fact that I actually get to go to bed at 3:30. I know that sounds late, but to me that's early, considering me and Adam were, 6 a.m. and midnight, 1 a.m. for you last night, so that's going to be good. Josh, do you need an extra minute?
Nope.
Good. What about, oh, brilliant. Well done. What do you think going into the sprint later?
Well, what a good qualifying from the both McLarens, but Max Verstappen as well, no mistakes in that final one, and getting to the top. But a good sprint shootout, but for the sprint later, I think we're going to have chaos into turn 1 and maybe have a safety car.
Well, my thanks to Adam, Omi, to Jess, and to Josh. We'll be back. Myself and Jess leading the commentary. I'll be her co for the second race coming up of F1 Academy with Omi and Josh in the pits. And we'll also see Adam back for the MotoGP race and the sprint later on tonight as well, alongside whoever it is who makes their way up into the commentary box. We'll fight them amongst themselves. My thanks to everybody for joining us then for the sprint shootout, the sprint race coming your way. Warn Air at 10:25 p.m. British Summer Time. Lights out at 11. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.